In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is but one true and living God, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. I greet all of you who may be listening at this time, and perhaps those who may get a chance to listen to this later on. And sincere greetings of peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum. Hotep, Alafia, Shalom. Peace be unto you, dear family. I know it is rather late on this Saturday night, but I decided I would like to take this opportunity to end the day, to end this week, to end this month, sharing some words that I have written recently. I wrote down some thoughts about 2 weeks ago. And the nature of the thoughts compels me to share them to be more effective. And I believe it is a part of catharsis. They are personal thoughts, but I believe and I hope and pray that in deciding to share them with you, that they will also help to serve you and to help you in your journey in whatever way that it can be applicable. So, as I prepare myself, I hope you all had a blessed day. I'm just going to take the time just to read this, fireside chat kind of way, and just move along from here. I've named it Publicized Private Hearing of My Soul. Suppose, with the appearance of being a social butterfly, I've been actually living a socially distant life, not aware of somehow being given what has been a life sentence until now. Suppose, with the appearance of being fearless, I've been doing a bid, hidden in plain sight, locked away while surrounded by folk in a solitary confinement of fear. I didn't necessarily walk around evidently fearful, for I didn't have fear. Fear had me from an unknown space and time. Suppose after all of these years and all of this time, a sister is finally eligible for discretionary parole. It's time for a lifer hearing. Since I've been sentenced to a term indeterminate, at least to myself, over 50 years for many is life. Yet I am currently awakened to the possibility of parole. It is I who have determined what the ultimate authority and judge over my life has ordered from the beginning, and that is my release from fear. There's no greater representative than the master of the day of judgment dwelling within me. Upon entering the womb of my mind, I rise this morning to identify and recognize the me who is seen in the public as my own prosecutor. I'm also the defendant. No longer defensive, pensive, yet no longer interested in being penalized or condemned, bruised and accused by my own spirit of breaking divine law. That law is fear nothing and no one but God. Suppose I was born in captivity, fixated on the notion of being free, yet mentally chained by the system within. Years of exercising my right to remain silent was never able to silence my loquacious, audacious thoughts, blabbing, babbling, murmuring monologues, continuous soliloquies, endless essays and daily dissertations, while never speaking for or to some overlooked chambers of my heart. So on this private journey, everything said and mostly unsaid has been used by me against me as I sit in a holding cell. Haven't really appeared in court. Yet suppose I indicted myself without truly hearing any evidence. I'm tried by circumstances and found abandoned at the side of the road, guilty of self-neglect, possibly triggered by this thing called fear. Right now, as I write this declaration, jotting down these opening and closing remarks, there are mental outbursts of fear of what? What do you mean? What are you scared of? What reason do you have to be scared? Scaredy cat perpetrating a fraud? I ain't scared of. I know you're not getting ready to lie. The truth will set you free. Facts. Absolutely. Wait a minute. Order in the court. If this is going to be a fair hearing with fair dealing, note, this is not a court of public or private opinion, abrupt interruptions, corruption, or... The very nature of this exchange heralds a change of venue for what will surely be imminent release, but not before the release. That is, not before all parties have actually been heard. So, once I give voice to the hidden, not defame, claim, not blame, and expose the suspects, some key players and accessories to the crime, and face myself, my accuser, I'm set to face the rising sun, looking forward to mandatory expiatory parole. Looking forward to striving to live the rest of my time with good behavior under godly supervision, free from superstition, anxiety, doubt, and fear. In this moment, I testify, telling a part of my story that has not even been heard by myself. I enter these considerations in as evidence to and for my own soul, knowing that freedom as well as judgment is not in the eye of the beholder, but in the hands of God, poised to help me reach that ultimate goal. Truth, honesty, and love are the master keys, so I surrender. Not knowing specifics of the outcome, but knowing who is in control. Time to tap the God within. Although I'll be calling forth some witnesses and focusing on a few things, I realize that all of the evidence is already in possession of the divine. So such confession allows for concessions of my own inner conflict, that I may live on purpose with immunity, not waiting for verdict after final verdict. Now I give loss and rejection notice, serving subpoenas on them both. Whether they show up front and personal or not, I choose to speak directly to them while looking myself straight in the eyes. Suppose, upon being given the gift of life, I was born in the loss that I learned to fear. Born of parents who'd experienced it, as everybody does. Nursed and reared by it on multiple levels, known and unknown, descendants of people who emerged from a legacy of loss. Could I have sensed the loss in my being, wanting to rid us all of any grief, innately sensitive to people's suffering, shielded from it all, a tender soul's earliest encounters were not directly my own, and yet I felt the impact of others' experience deeply, with all that it entailed. I didn't want it. Moreover, I didn't like the feeling of not being able to do anything to help, to heal, console, not having any control, wanting to fill up every empty hole, help to make things whole, yet that could not be. So fear of losing may have kept me from receiving, gaining and having much more, even when I have had plenty. Believing we're blessed to be blessings for others, I may have lost a part of myself. Holding on to what I could, maintaining everything to lose, did not keep me from losing. Perhaps the biggest loss is what has never been. or at least has not happened. However, if this time serves me well, and by grace it has, the part of me that still believes is strengthened with the desire to do good, seek truth, keep on striving with patience, regardless of whom or what I may or may not lose. Words from David's Psalms, also pressed into my palm, become a balm in the bosom of my being. With the Lord as my everything, I bow and am draped in acquisition, victory, success, and fulfillment of those who came my way, sacrificed and paid the price for me, and many more coming after me. Suppose, lovingly embraced by my family, I was born rescinded, retracted, repudiated in some way by this world, considered to be canceled just because. What if the abolition of slavery came with a dominant rulership of white supremacy that really wished to dismiss us all? A denial of my existence that ignited a perpetual burst of resistance at every turn, born in the USA in the 1960s, made it personal. So I discern, perhaps something in me yearned to be protected from being rejected. Perhaps my first 2 years of tears included me not wanting to learn to accept it. Suppose excellence wasn't just about achievement, but bereavement, as parts of me die to try to live without the sting of insecurity. Yet, how can accolades make one secure when you remain subjected to a world that thrives on building some up in vacant lots like erector sets set up to be eventually targeted, torn, worn, and broken down? On the path of trying to be the best I could be, filled with empathy for everyone else, disdain of my own mistakes makes personal stakes rise higher and higher, causing expectations to end up lower than my arduous journey to rise. According to whose standards? And beyond that, does any of this matter? What does it mean? What is the point? Whether or not one knows or grows, people, things, trends, accomplishments, everything comes and goes. Besides that, have I truly accepted myself as a validated child of destiny? In the mighty presence of a God who sees, hears, knows my brokenness, mistakes, errors, issues, shortcomings, falls, failures, flaws, fixations, and fears. Yet, I strive, serve, stand, fight, keep getting up, continue to live, laugh, learn, love, uplifted and upheld by supreme love through divinity. I'm still here. How can any of us be rejected when from conception we've been chosen to choose to be, already granted entry? The admittance fee has been paid in full. How long can those being redeemed remain disappointed when they are scheduled for an appointment from on high? Eyes not on the prize, but pondering the possibility of loss and rejection? Why? Suppose not wanting to be hurt, not wanting to be mistreated, not wanting to feel trapped, not wanting to be taken advantage of or taken for granted, not wanting to live under threat, not wanting to be depreciated rather than appreciated, caused me to inherit these things from the prison of my own mind. Suppose in trying not to lose, I lost. Suppose in avoiding rejection, I was rejected, and even rejected myself. Surrounded by people, building genuine relationships everywhere I go, granting access to my heartline, energy moving crowds while actually being socially distant. 6 feet underground in each direction, dying daily while touching spirits, feeling for everyone else yet buried as I wore personal protective equipment that didn't grant me access to my own feelings. Suppose all of this left me wide open to be robbed. Or did I voluntarily just give my stuff away? Nah. What's for me is for me. And can one rob me of what isn't even mine? So here I stand, here I sit, here I stand, presenting my case to the judge, who shines the light of understanding into the darkness of my cell, squinting my eyes, with a smile on my face. I'm listening for my name. A voice from within reminds me, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the source of our strength, the strength of our lives. Is that the jingling of prison keys that I hear? I prepare to lose my chains and reject the noise in my ears every second, every minute, every hour, every day, every week, every month, every year. Thank you for your time and your patience. Thank you for listening. I wish us all continued blessings, healing, strength, courage to carry on this journey of life. Till next time, a couple of minutes from August, in your August presence, I wish you peace and blessings. Take care.